This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
98FM.
I'm Adrian Kennedy, and that man there is Mr. Jeremy Dixon.
How are things?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Is the week dragging in for you as it is for me?
No, not at all. It's Thursday already.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week has flown.
I've always wondered how that happens.
What, some weeks go really quick?
Yeah, because every week is the same length.
Obviously, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same with years. You know the way people say, oh my God, 2018 has gone so fast. It hasn't really, though. It's always the same length.
Yes, it is.
Isn't
yeah.
it? So how does that happen?
I don't know, because for me, this week has gone very quick.
Oh,
I can't believe it's Thursday already.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, I can't believe it's Thursday already.
No, it's right.
I think it depends on your mood or something, does it?
Yeah, my mood has been up and down this week.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed.
More down.
Every minute of every day this week, I've noticed.
Oh, really?
More down than up. You've been doing my head in all week.
How have you worked with me for 20 years? I will never know.
I get paid for it.
Handsomely.
And it's a question I often ask. How do you put up with him? And my answer is my paycheck.
Who asks you that question?
Loads of people, actually.
Really? What did they say?
I love your show, but how do you put up with him?
Really? Our show.
I love your show is what they say, but how do you put up with him?
Adrian, have you been terrorised? Although you live probably in a part of Dublin where you're not going to be terrorised by the people we're about to talk about.
Well, they're not people, per se now. They're not people.
Yes, because Dubliners are being terrorised, attacked. They're basically a menace, aren't they? They're a menace to society.
Dublin's reputation as a dirty old town. We only spoke about this yesterday where we were talking about rats in Queen Street flats. Well, Dublin's reputation as a dirty old town is well deserved thanks to opportunistic seagulls taking advantage of a growing litter and rubbish problem in the capital. Fianna Fáil's Dublin spokesman John Lahart said the outsourcing of waste collection by Dublin City Council in recent years has led to a proliferation of uncollected rubbish on city streets, which has proved to be an irresistible feeding ground for scavenging seagulls.
So basically, what they're blaming, the government is blaming, basically the dirt.
This isn't
all
the
over
government;
the
it's
streets.
the Fianna Fáil TD.
Yes. Okay,
they're not in power at the moment.
Well done, Adrian, for clearing that up. Yeah. Basically, what officials are blaming the dirt on the streets for is seagulls. Now, I have seen this myself. They do attack bins. Seagulls, I think, over the last 20 years, there's no consistency in seagulls' behaviour.
There's no consistency?
No. 20 years ago, a seagull did not know how to rip open a black paper bag or a black rubbish bag. But they've actually acquired that knowledge now, haven't they? They become more intelligent.
They seem to have, yeah. I was going to the Ivy Gardens the other night and I was walking...
you don't see Aslan, did you?
I did. They were brilliant. Just off Harcourt Street in one of the laneways there was a seagull and he was headbutting a plastic bin bag. And I actually stood there and took a photograph of him. And he was headbutting the plastic bag, and he eventually got through it. And he
beak butting, was he?
Well, whatever,
with
yeah.
His beak, yeah.
And he eventually got through the plastic, and he started pulling stuff out of the plastic bag. So he knew where there was going to be food. He knew exactly where to go. I'd love to hear from you if you've had a run-in with a seagull.
We never thought we'd ask this question on the show.
No.
But, just listen, we're going to open the window here at 98FM. Hang on, let me just go back and open up the window here. Hang on.
Okay,
you just hear them out the back of our building.
Okay, open the window, yeah.
Listen to that. Look at that big bastard. Look at him.
Yeah, you can see
Look at him giving you the evil eye. Go away!
They fly around our building here in the city centre all day, every day. Yeah. But we're fairly close to the coast.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear...
Throw a bit of bread out the window and see what happens. Catch it. Throw the bread out.
I did throw the bread out.
Oh, there he is. He's coming down to get it.
He's as happy as Larry now.
Go away.
Anyway, I would love to hear if you've had a run-in with a seagull. Has he robbed your food? Has he swooped down really low and attacked you? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. I'd love to find out how many of you have had a run-in with a seagull.
Now, a friend of mine, I haven't witnessed their aggression, but a friend of mine said they're after becoming quite aggressive.
They have done.
Why is that? What's the
maybe there's so many of them and they're so big. The size of the things.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they're monstrous. I think they're hungrier than they ever have, so they're really scavenging for food.
But some of them are obese, aren't they?
Some of them are huge.
I think fly-fit gyms should be given free membership to Seagulls out so they can lose a bit of weight. They're huge. But also their wingspan. Have you noticed how big their wingspan is now?
Yeah, they're monstrous. I'd love to hear from you if you've had a run-in with a seagull. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Now, I live in North Dublin.
You're about 10 miles from the coast, I'd say, are you?
Maybe 6 or 7 miles from the nearest coastline.
Okay.
And we get seagulls. So they're coming very far inland now, which they never used to do, to get food.
Really? They're coming that far inland?
Yeah, they are, yeah. So if you've had a run-in with a... shut those seagulls
up.
up.
Here, let me close the window. Hang on. One of them nearly flew into the studio there.
If you've had a run-in with a seagull, text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Don't blame seagulls, says this message. Blame filthy, vile humans. Well, now, in fairness, the filthy, vile humans you're talking about put their rubbish into plastic bags. I saw this plastic bag. It was sealed. It had a collection sticker on the bag.
Did it have a sticker on it saying, Seagulls, stay away from this bag?
No.
Do not touch.
It was outside the premises on Friday evening at about 8 o'clock, and the seagull was headbutting the bag until he got into it. And he did get into it, and he started pulling all the rubbish out of it until he got to food. They know what they're doing.
So who's to blame? Is it the seagulls or is it the humans?
See, I do have a bit of a problem. I think part of the problem is whatever different collection companies, or is it the city council, I don't know, who collect from companies, the companies have to leave out black plastic bags, and they're very easy to break into.
Yeah. Now, somebody on Facebook, Adrian, Emma on Facebook, now, I do not believe this for one moment. I refuse to believe this, is saying that I live in Tala. Well, I know, I believe that you live in Tala, Emma, but she's saying there's loads of seagulls up there. Now, Emma, I hate to call you a liar on live radio.
I would believe her.
No, I spend a lot of time up in Tala. I've never seen a seagull flying in that far. You're not going to get a seagull in Tala.
You will, and you do.
No, you won't.
I think you do.
Seagulls cannot fly as far as Tala. There's not a hope. How would a seagull even know how to get to Tala? Can you picture a seagull going, I'll take a left at the N81 and go up the Tala bypass there? Oh, that's the way to get to Tala.
I think they are.
No.
Damien, you're on 98FM. How are you, Damien?
How's it going? How are you?
Now, what did you want to say about our good friends, the Seagulls?
They're a menace.
Yeah.
They're, my dad is a bit of a bird watcher, and so he tries to feed the birds that appear out their backyard now in Coolock.
Right.
And whenever they put out food for them, the seagulls just come down and steal it all. But they've one big lad out there, he's a heron, who my mum and dad kind of feed as much as they can, but any time that they throw anything out for him, like just kill him, like the seagulls attack him.
Believe it or not, we actually have a huge heron as well that hangs around our back garden. He's a monstrous joke. Like he's about, I would say, about 2 foot tall. He's huge, big long legs. But he hangs around our garden. Now, he causes no harm. He doesn't do any damage or anything. But he hangs around, and we do throw some food out for him.
And that's the thing. When you do try and throw food out for him, the seagulls come down and actually attack him to scare him away. And like obviously my dad being a big bird lover, he gets quite angry about it.
Now, the problem is, Damien, is that we only have ourselves to blame, though, because seagulls, they're like mother-in-laws. If you feed them a decent bit of food one day, they'll come back every single day looking for dinner off you every single day.
I'm glad I can't cook well, then.
I love my mother-in-law, though.
Said
love
no.
when she comes around.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
She's great. Yeah, she's
right,
great.
there's a first for Irish radio. Man admits to loving mother-in-law.
And no, but hang on, Damien. How often does she call to your house?
Well, we're actually in the process of moving, so she'll be there quite a bit. But yeah.
So you're not moving beside your mother-in-law, are you?
No.
I know this is off the point here, but I have to mention this. I have a mate, and this is a true story. My mate is one of these lads, Damien, that as soon as he got married, his wife basically took his testicles. I think it was part of the wedding vows, actually.
Was it?
Yeah,
left them in a handbag.
And no, but here's the thing. She insisted that they move house to the same road that his mother-in-law lived on. So he now lives, I think he lives about, can I mention his name?
If you want to.
Gareth.
How are you, Gareth?
Gareth, he listens to 98FM actually. Gareth now lives 5 doors away from his mother-in-law on the same avenue.
Really?
Yeah. Now, Damien, would you like that?
No comment.
No, you've already said you love your mother-in-law, so...
So would you like to live 5 doors away from her, Gareth? Or Damien?
We live 13-minute walk away from the...
Nah, that's close enough.
Oh, that's way too close.
Is it?
No.
No, that's close enough. All right, Damo, thanks very much indeed. Now, a friend of mine that lives up in Navan just texted to say... What?
Don't even try.
Yeah.
Don't even try to say that the Seagulls in Navan.
We have loads in Navan. Even in our estate, they hang around the green area.
No, that's pigeons. Here's the thing. The way you can tell the difference between a seagull and a pigeon. Okay, pigeons black, seagulls white. You can't mix them up.
Well, I'm telling you what she said.
No. There's no seagulls in Tala or Navan.
So you're calling my friend Keisha a liar, are you? We have loads in Navan. Even in our estate, they hang around the green area.
No, photographs or it didn't happen. I mean, I can say, Adrian, we've a killer whale swimming up our avenue. It doesn't make it true, does it?
Mark, you're on 98FM. How are you, Mark?
How are you? How are things? You well?
Now, Mark, in Balbriggan, obviously, you're at the coast. You would expect to have seagulls flying around Balbriggan, but you're absolutely plagued by them, are you?
Every second house has a seagull nest on it. And what happens is the seagulls, when they come to a certain age, they end up falling off the roof because they're trying to learn to fly. So on our road, there's probably 10 baby seagulls. So the minute any of the kids are walking by them or even they have to cross the road, the parents of these seagulls come down and they viciously attack the kids.
Really?
I mean, no joking, yeah. My own child has been attacked numerous times.
Okay, tell us what happened to your... So this is in Balbriggan, which is a seaside... it's a seaside town, so there's always a lot of seagulls. And what happened to your child?
Well, what happened was she kept getting attacked every time she got around the corner. So what happened is I used to have to walk around the corner and give her a phone, so she'd ring me and say, I'm coming back. I'd have to walk around and collect her. And as the neighbour's kid was pinned up against my car by 2 of them, flapping and pecking at him. He's only 6 years of age. I mean, it's great, but they're a pest. So, well, I took it into my own hands then, and I actually shot them with a pellet gun. And then the police and all were involved then.
And when they attack, is it vicious? Like, can you get badly hurt?
Oh, yeah. One of the kids got 3 stitches.
Now,
really?
When you say the police were involved, why were the police involved?
Because what happened was one of the neighbours obviously has no kids and doesn't come out of her house probably, but she had rang the police on me and said that I was shooting them with a pistol. But I was shooting them with a pistol because they're vermin.
Okay, but you were shooting them with a pellet gun, were you?
Oh yeah, of course, with a pellet gun.
And because you were shooting seagulls with a pellet gun, which wouldn't kill them, it'd just get rid of them, would it?
Basically frightens them off. I've another friend of mine in Kerry that does the same thing. And after about a week of doing it, they don't land in his garden or come around his house. So.
Oh, really? All right. Now, they do... You see, I don't see what the problem is here.
Oh, my God. What?
I don't see what the problem is here. You go out to Dublin Airport, yeah?
Yeah.
And there are pellet guns firing off all along the side of the runway to scare off birds and get them away from the airport.
Is that true?
Only heard them the day before yesterday.
I don't think that... No, it's a sound. It's a clap sound.
Well, whatever it is, it's to scare them off.
No, sorry. Can I just say, because this is very dangerous, Aidan, what you're suggesting. Dublin Airport or the DAA...
Yeah.
Are not shooting seagulls.
But they're shooting bang sounds that scare off the birds.
If the seagulls were around Dublin Airport, I'd say there'd be 100,000 people getting signed up for a new job.
I have to be honest with you, Mark. I agree with you that they're a menace, and I agree with you that they're attacking children. But I don't think it's appropriate to be shooting them with a pellet gun.
It's not going to kill them.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
have you ever killed one, Mark?
No, I haven't.
No.
This is the way you have to look at that is, wait and you see if your child gets attacked by the seagull
and ends up in hospital and getting 3 stitches, yeah.
What you would have to come back at me then with that.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
No different opinion.
Jeremy, you do the exact same thing yourself.
I find it abhorrent that you're shooting pellets at a bird.
Have you a child that got 3 stitches?
No, obviously I don't.
No, then...
that was one of the neighbours' child that got 3 stitches.
All right, but still, when you have a child or know of a child who got 3 stitches because it was attacked by... and let's be honest, they are vermin. That's what seagulls are. They are vermin. And he has every right...
Seagulls have every right to...
Attack a child,
No, not to attack a child.
They've every right to attack a child.
Nobody said that. Calm down.
They're actually worse than vermin. Like, you want to see my estate on a Friday morning. when the bins go out. So you just rip apart the bins. They'll just be like, you have to clean it for about 2 hours after. They rip the bins apart. They're a menace. You could be having a barbecue, the good weather, and they're flying down, they're trying to take stuff off your plate, and you're sitting at the table in the back garden.
Okay, stay there for a sec, Mark, because I want to find out how public opinion about this, because I would have thought I was in the majority here, Adrian, as regards opinion. Okay, so Mark has admitted on the radio that he shoots at seagulls with a pellet gun. With a pellet gun. Adrian is after saying, which no surprise, you don't like animals anyway. Adrian is after saying,
I do like animals. I just don't like vermin.
They're not vermin.
Is it okay to kill a rat in a rat trap? Yeah.
No, I don't agree with that either.
Oh, Jesus.
What
a snowflake.
Not a snowflake.
Have rats in your house. Live like those people we spoke to yesterday in Queen Street and see if you'd kill rats. Of course you bloody would.
No, catch them in a cage. I don't agree with mouse traps.
And do what with them? Let them go then. Let them run around again. Don't be so ridiculous.
Okay, let's find out how many of you agree with what Mark is doing. Okay, so Mark has admitted that he shoots at seagulls with a pellet gun. Now, Adrian, I don't know if you've ever been shot with a pellet gun.
Yeah, it hurts.
In fact, I went paintballing with you once, and you cried like a baby.
I did, because I got a wallop, yeah.
Yeah, would you like a pellet gun in the face?
Obviously I wouldn't, but I'm not ripping at people's bins, swooping on people's tables, robbing their food, injuring their children.
Okay,
listen to what the guy said.
Yeah, I heard
the child ended up, this is how vicious they are, the child ended up in hospital and got 3 stitches.
Okay, do you agree with Mark shooting seagulls with a pellet gun? That is the question. Do you agree? I want to find out how many
one of our politicians only last year suggested a cull on them. Which is shooting thousands of them.
It's illegal to remove the nests in Balbriggan now because they've become that much of a pest.
Yeah,
but I hate to say this here, Mark. You live in a seaside town. That's what happens. I mean, you have fishermen pulling in at Balbriggan Pier there, and they're cutting up fish on the pier, and that's what's attracting these birds to
Okay,
Balbriggan.
but it's not just Balbriggan. Okay, it's not just Balbriggan. I'm about to go to a lady who lives in Ongar out beside Blanchardstown, and they're plagued with. That's not near the sea.
Okay, text or WhatsApp, a simple yes or no. Do you agree with Mark shooting seagulls with a pellet gun? Yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Now, Adrian is saying yes, they're fair game. Shoot them out of the sky. Take them down.
I didn't say that. I said it's okay to shoot them with a pellet gun. Relax there.
Can you imagine the pain being
it's
a seagull?
Tough. They're vermin.
Okay.
Hang on there for a second. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Now, you were saying that there's no seagulls inland as far as Tala. Rachel, there are seagulls in Tala, aren't there?
Jeremy, there is tons. Do you know what I'm going to do today? Because I'm actually out at the minute. When I go home, I'm actually going to go out. I'm going to throw some bread out on the road, and I'm going to video it for you, and I'm going to send it to you. They are everywhere. I actually was in my back garden a couple of weeks ago, and I was in the back garden with the kids, and we were having something to eat. A seagull actually flew down and tried to grab a roll out of my hand. Literally, and I have to be honest, over a child over a seagull, I agree with that chap. For a child's safety, I would do the same. There is tons of them in Tala. You don't actually see them until what I used to do was, I used to throw, like leftover bread or whatever out for the birds. And I mean, I ended up stopping because literally, I don't know where they would come from, but they were hunting the birds to get to the bread.
Well, that's why I said, Rachel, because I have a lot of business out in Tala. I'm regularly out in Tala. I have a lot of business in the village. And, sorry?
Yeah, go on.
And I've never, ever seen a seagull in Tala village. So
but you're not looking for them either.
I will. I promise you. Honest to God, and I'm genuinely not even being smart. I promise you I'll actually video it today and I'll put it up on the Facebook page for you.
Yeah, do.
And in fact, my friend in Navan has said the exact same thing. She's going to send us in photographs later on as well. Because here's the thing. The seagull population has become so big that they are moving further inland to get food. That's what the problem is.
And they are actually enormous.
Yeah, they are. They're huge.
Enormous.
Yeah.
I've never seen that so big. I genuinely remember even as a kid going to the beach and seeing seagulls, and they were never as
big as they are now. I agree with you.
They are enormous.
No, but they're literally breeding like rabbits.
But you just want to keep them overpopulating.
But they own the skies. We don't own the skies, Adrian.
Mark hits them a wallop with a pellet gun. Good enough for him.
Keep those.
What do you think of that, Rachel? Is it okay?
I actually agree with Mark.
Yeah, well, there you are. And I have to tell you, Jeremy, if you want...
For the safety of me kids, I would do it like a light.
Yep, well, I have to tell you, if you want the results of our poll, we asked people to text in whether or not what Mark is doing is okay. Is it acceptable for Mark to be shooting seagulls with pellets? And 79% said yes.
Yeah, I can see that there.
Yeah, 79% said yes.
However, there are some people who agree with me. I agree with Jeremy for once. Why for once? All life has a right to live.
Oh, stop.
No?
Seriously.
Okay, if your dog is barking at night,
Okay, so your house gets infested with rats. You just welcome them in. Come along, come on in.
Oh, like the Pied Piper.
Yeah, sit up on the chair there. Come on.
What? Why would you tell her?
If I read that text correctly, all life is what?
Precious.
Yeah. Come on in. Sit up there.
What you want for dinner, rat?
A little table for the rats. No, seriously.
Why, you dirty rat.
Vermin or seagulls are the exact same. They're vermin.
But so, if your dog is barking at night, can I come around to your house and hit it over the head with a baseball bat?
It doesn't bark at night.
No, but if it did.
But it doesn't.
If it did, if your dog was annoying...
That's not vermin. Vermin is an animal that rips bins apart.
Dogs rip bins apart.
My dog doesn't rip bins apart.
Oh, your dog's an angel.
Hey?
You literally have the best behaved dog in the world.
I actually do.
You know, you're like those parents whose kids are joyriders and they say, no, my little Johnny would never rob a car.
Shyamala.
Hi.
Now, you live in Ongar.
I do, yeah.
And you are plagued with seagulls too.
Yes.
Now,
there's plenty of them. Like you can see, I'll like others promised, I'll take a picture and send it out to you today.
Now, Ongar, I've looked up Shamayala. Is that your name?
Shamla.
Shamla. From Ongar to Dublin Port, so the nearest point to the sea from your house is 27 kilometres.
Wow.
That's how far those seagulls are. That's a long way to go for. Even Adrian wouldn't travel that far for food.
I wouldn't, no.
Sure you wouldn't.
No, but the point is that they've become such a problem. There's so many of them that they aren't even getting enough food in the city centre anymore, so they're going out further and further and further inland. And what do you think of Mark shooting seagulls with pellets?
I wouldn't be happy with it, but that's his choice. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I totally agree with him. Now, Dennis, you're saying that by law, seagulls are a protected species.
Yeah, all birds are protected by law, and it's illegal to actually shoot birds or disturb their nest.
No, I know it's illegal to disturb their nest because, in fact, we saw an example of this a couple of weeks ago on there's a building beside us here being rebuilt, and on top of a pile of bricks on the roof was a seagull's nest, and they had to leave it there for weeks. They couldn't go near the pile of bricks on the roof there. But what about, Mark, shooting them with pellet guns?
Well, you could end up, with a serious fine, or you could end up with a prison sentence.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Mark.
Well, I know in Balbriggan, it's the only town that it's legal to actually move the nests. And you can look that up if you want, because it's true.
You can move the nest as long as there's no eggs or chicks in it.
Well, I know what I'd be doing if there was something in them. They'd be completely removed.
Let me address this message, lads. Adrian from Rhonda. And Rhonda says, hi, my name is Rhonda and I'm from Cabra. How dare you promote animal cruelty on the radio? I've switched off your show and won't be tuning into 98FM ever again. Well, that's a lie, Rhonda. You're probably still listening. But people who say they'll never listen again always listen.
Always do, yeah.
No, but how do you address that complaint, Adrian, that you are promoting animal cruelty? I'm understanding why. I've never shot a seagull in my life. I don't even have a pellet gun. You have a brutal aim.
But if you have your child or children regularly attacked or intimidated by seagulls, you'll be fairly pissed off.
Well, a story I've been looking up about how aggressive seagulls are. In the UK, so far this summer, 2 dogs have been killed by seagulls, including a Yorkshire Terrier, which was actually pecked to death in its neighbour's back garden.
Okay, so
seagulls.
That lady who sent that message, when something like that happens to you, come back and talk to us.
She's not listening anymore.
Well, come back and talk to us when something like that happens. All right, Mark, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed.
Sorry, Dennis, it is illegal then? Those seagulls 100% are protected by law, are they?
Absolutely. All birds are protected by law.
Come here, is it legal to kill wasps?
Is it illegal to kill wasps?
Is it legal to kill wasps?
Of course it is.
You see, I'm just wondering why the difference. We actually have a wasp nest in our house, and my wife just texted me a minute ago to say that the exterminator people have been out to kill them all.
It's actually in the house, the wasp nest is?
In a roof on the outside, yeah.
Really?
And the pest control people have just been out to kill them. But that's legal, is it?
It is.
Why the difference?
because, you know, they're dangerous around children. They sting off a wasp can be very, very sore for an adult, never mind for a child.
So can being pecked by a seagull and ended up in hospital with 3 stitches.
That's true. That's very true. And I've been dive bombed myself by seagulls. They actually work in pest control. So there's other tactics that you can use as well. Like you don't have to shoot them, or you can use decoy birds or kites.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. In fact, they're all over the place around Dublin. There's millions of them.
Or anti-perching devices. But there's also another little trick that you can use as well. You can put dummy eggs in the nest.
Right.
And the mother will sit on them eggs, believing that they're going to hatch. But obviously they're dummy eggs, so they're never going to hatch. So she might get in her head that this is a bad place to actually, nest in.
Oh, right, because
clever.
Very clever, because the eggs never hatch.
Exactly, and she might move on somewhere else, And as well as that, a seagull can live up to 25 years.
Can they?
They can, and
Not when Mark going around with his pellet gun, they won't last kiss.
He didn't kill any. He hasn't killed one. Okay,
But
let's make that perfectly clear. The guy's not shooting them dead. No,
so the dummy eggs, like, really, it kind of just brings down the population a bit. It takes time, but it's just another tactic that you can use instead of,
All right, fair play. Thanks for the information, Dennis. Now, next.
For F's sake, Adrian, for F's sake. Now, I didn't use the bad word there, did I?
No, I didn't, but I will. What the are you talking about?
I'm talking about an article in the news today, all about swearing in the workplace and whether or not it is appropriate to swear in the workplace. Now, myself and Adrian, in the company we work for, 98FM, we swear like troopers, don't we?
We do, but kind of privately. We wouldn't swear like troopers openly.
Sorry, you shouted across the room the other day, Jeremy, you useless.
I did say that. I actually did say that, yeah.
And people just stopped.
Well, people all agreed.
A report out today into workplace ethics and workplace behaviour has found that a certain amount of employees bosses believe that when an employee swears at work, it takes their professionalism into question.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it's not professional to use bad language in the workplace?
81% of bosses and employers who were surveyed believe that swearing at work shows an employee in a bad light and puts their professionalism into question.
So if you're at a meeting and it becomes a little bit heated and you say to your boss, what the are you on about?
Well, I'd never say that to my boss. I'm terrified of him.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Absolutely
I've seen the blood drain from your face.
Anything he says, yes, boss. Oh, no, that's you. Sorry, that's you. Sorry, that's not me.
So they're saying basically that it is unprofessional to swear in the workplace?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you in a job that it is okay to swear?
Okay, so here's what we want to do, okay? We want to find out what job you do. So simply text the job you do and let us know, is it okay to curse in that job? Yes or no. Okay? So text or WhatsApp us now. 087 798 98 98. Start to text and let us know what you do for a living. Okay, where do you work? Like, obviously, if you work at a stay-at-home mother, that's not an acceptable job to curse in, is it? If you're a stay-at-home mother.
Or in a creche. A creche, it's not acceptable to curse in a creche.
Shut up, you little...
No, that wouldn't be acceptable.
You pack of bastards. No, not appropriate at all. Sure, it's not.
Now, there are other jobs, like this job, for the 2 hours that we're on air, it's not acceptable to curse.
So we do curse.
No, we don't.
No, but we use acceptable.
Yeah, but I use the f***ing beep machine.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to f***ing curse, it picks it up every time.
But in fairness, Adrian, you curse like a... You really do.
I know, but on air I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm able to control it while I'm on air, and I tend not to curse.
But your language off air is appalling.
It
can
be colourful.
Yeah.
It can be.
But honestly, shout it across the room with 98FM. Adrian or Jeremy, you useless... You did.
I did. But you deserved it. Do you curse at work? What do you work at? And
is it acceptable to curse in the workplace?
In the workplace,
that you work.
So, say for example, if you're having a meeting with your boss and it's getting a little bit heated, is it okay to say to your boss, "What the are you on about?"
No, this isn't about your boss. It's about among employees. Okay, in your workplace. So
if you walk into a supermarket and there's one till assistant talking to another one and she's saying, I was out last night, we had a fucking great night, and...
Or can you get me a price check on the aubergines?
Yeah.
No, that's not acceptable. Sure it's not. I think there are certain job places where it is acceptable and certain places where it isn't. No?
Now, Bobby, you work in a garage.
I do.
And you curse all the time.
Flipping sure I do.
Good man, yeah. You see, even Bobby knows when you're on the radio, you have to control it a little bit.
Now, are you your own boss?
I am.
Ah, well, then.
Hold on. Even when I had people working for me, we were cursing each other all the time. Something went wrong, if you broke something, or if a customer was annoying you, you'd say that beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, but in fairness, garages are quite misogynistic anyway. They have calendars.
But who?
Don't
be calling me that.
You have calendars up in garage. Have you ever gone into a garage agent and they have like page 3 calendars up on the walls and stuff like that?
I know, we have nuns on ours. We have nuns and priests on ours.
I got that calendar last year, the nun calendar. It was brilliant to watch.
Deadly, isn't it? It's deadly.
Did you check out November? Unbelievable,
Did you see the 89-year-old nun in it? It won't be long to crack at night.
You're getting weird now, Bobby. You're getting weird.
Okay, so in your workplace, in a garage, it's okay to curse?
Yes, of course it is.
Okay, but is it okay to curse in front of customers?
Depending on the customer you're dealing with.
Yeah, you see, I never think it's okay to curse in front of customers.
Well, I was in a garage, Bobby, getting my tyres done 2 weeks ago, and the man who I know quite well...
I'd say everyone curses at you. Everyone sees you, they just say, here's this beep, 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 beep.
Well, I tell you what happened, Bobby. Your man was taking my wheel off to change the tyre on it, and he turned around to me and says, Jeremy, can I tell you something? And I said, yeah, go ahead. He said, Jeremy, your brake pads are... That's what he said to me. Your brake pads are totally...
And did that bother you?
No, it didn't.
No,
because they were. They were.
Say you're in a restaurant or a pub having food.
Yes.
Yeah. And you say to the waitress, "I'm thinking of getting chicken Kiev. What's the chicken Kiev like?" She says it's absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Oh, I'd order if it is effing gorgeous. I'd order.
No, but if she said that, you'd go, "Oh, that's a little bit odd," wouldn't you?
Yes. No, that'd be perfect.
That wouldn't bother you at all.
Not at all.
And do you have female employees in your garage, or is it just men?
No, but I worked in certain places, and I even teach sometimes doing panel beating, spray painting, and you have females around. And if they're in the car game, I actually know a couple of women mechanics, and they're out to be worse than any of the fellas.
Yeah, you see, I tend to, maybe it's something that's been programmed into me, Bobby. I tend not to curse as much when women are around for some reason.
Yeah, but listen, some of the women out there have a lot worse mouth on them than the men have.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Bobby. I don't think a creche is an appropriate place to curse, or a hospital. Now, think about that, yeah? You're in hospital for a day procedure, or you're in hospital for an operation or whatever.
Ask the doctor, what's my prognosis? Well, Jeremy, Jeremy, can I tell you something? You're totally... No, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Or for a nurse. A nurse is trying to put a needle into your arm. I can't get the fucking needle into your arm.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see. Would it bother you, though?
Darren.
Yes.
Darren, what do you work at?
I'm a paver.
A paver?
On the site, yeah.
Okay, very good. And in your job, while you're working, do you curse?
Absolutely, yeah. I have to curse the boys and cursing when I'm putting the bricks down, and you name it. Every second word out of my mouth is
F.
Actually, I think all builders anyway. They all curse. They all do.
Yeah. You have to like put the point across, you know.
And Darren, as a paver, do you think you took the right career path in life?
I think so.
Sorry, am I allowed to crack that joke? No, am I? I don't know. Is it funny?
Of course it is. Yeah.
No, but I don't know. Is it funny? Is it funny?
It was half funny.
For once you're after getting a good one.
Okay, for once I got a good one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. All right, fair play, Darren. And finally, Brian, you work where?
I work down in the warehouse of a Blanchardstown.
Down in the warehouse in Blanche, and do you curse at all at work?
Curse the odd time now, yeah.
The odd time?
Odd time, yeah. Not every time now.
And do you work with women, or is it just men?
Well, there's a mix of women and men here now. It's not bad. Mostly men and foreign lads, you know yourself.
You see, I think you have to be careful cursing in front of women, especially if they're sexual swear words. Like, I'm thinking the C word. I don't think it's appropriate to use the C word in front of a woman,
Yeah,
is it?
no, I would agree. I think it's a bit, yeah.
It's a bit, like, would you use the C word in front of a woman, Brian?
Sorry?
Would you use the C word in front of a woman?
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Fair play. All right, Brian. Anyway, the bottom line is that this report says that it is unprofessional to swear in the workplace.
Yes, the vast majority of employers and bosses, 81%, said that if an employee swears, in the workplace. It calls their professionalism into question. Now, what I have to say about that, Adrian, that's a complete and utter load of...
This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
98FM.